Hey there, I'm Sara Zarrella, a portrait and wedding photographer and your host for Wedding Secrets Unveiled. This is a podcast where we cut through the complexity of wedding planning, leaving you with everything you need to know directly from the industry experts. If you want to simplify your wedding planning while having fun, of course, you came to the right place. Join me while I guide you through your planning, starting from your engagement to your big day when you say, I do. After photographing for over 20 years, I am sharing with you tips and tricks to cut through the excess noise. Because I believe from the moment you said yes, your planning experience should be a magical time in your life. Here you'll find episodes that are fun, stress-free, and straight to the point with a fresh, honest take on the reality of what you really need to know about planning your perfect day. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarrella, and today we're going to be talking about engagement sessions. So if you are thinking about an engagement session, this is the podcast episode for you because we're going to talk a little bit about what to wear, tips, why you should have an engagement session, why not have an engagement session. It's just really going to break down everything that has to do with photography and your engagement sessions. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarrella, and I am joined today with
Kathryn.
Hi, Kathryn.
Hi. Glad to be back.
Welcome back. You are just going to become like a regular on the podcast.
I hope so. It's a fun time.
So fun fact, we were scheduled to do a podcast taping for you, which for our listeners, we will reschedule that one. But they ended up having an emergency situation come up and they couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
So like literally 2 seconds ago, we're like, sit in the chair, Kathryn.
Yeah. So here I am.
But we are going to talk to you guys about something that we've been wanting to for a while.
Correct. Yeah, it's been on our list. So I'm excited to actually dive into it.
So we're going to bump that up. So before we get into that, though, for our listeners, can you tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes.
And who you serve?
So I'm Kathryn, and I am the studio manager here for Sara Zarrella Photography and one of the faces behind the podcast. My latest project has been getting the podcast on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. We're on YouTube.
Make sure to check it out if you haven't yet. Share, like, subscribe, and even if you just are an audio listener, make sure to download the episodes if you will, and share with a friend. Yeah.
So here we are. Okay. So the topic today that we want to discuss with you is why engagement sessions are important or not important, or just about engagement sessions, because
Totally.
We feel they're important, but you don't have to have an engagement session.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
People, it's one of those things that, there's a lot of traditions when it comes to wedding, a lot of rules loosely. And one of those is engagement sessions. And, as photographers, obviously we are partial. We think engagement sessions are definitely worth it, and we'll get into why.
Yeah.
But for weddings, it's all about what best fits you and your relationship, and this is to help you decide if an engagement session is the right fit for you.
And I say like why they're important because, like you said, like that it's great to have one. But if for our listeners, if you're on the fence or have decided that you're not going to have one, or if you're having one with somebody else that's not your photographer, your wedding photographer, because a lot of people might do their engagement sessions more local if they're doing a destination wedding. Again, all of those things are fine too. We're just here talking about why they're important.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that they're like it's like an end all be all.
Correct.
Right?
And vice versa, being Newport photographers, a lot of couples come here on vacation and do their engagement sessions here, but they're having the wedding, where
somewhere
they're
else.
from or somewhere else.
That's a great point. You're right. A lot of times we'll do engagement sessions for couples that we're not even doing their wedding. So because you're right, they're vacationing.
Yeah, they're on vacation. It's one of their favorite spots.
Yeah.
So they get photos to capture them in their favorite place.
And that goes into the first reason why they're important. So if you or like deciding where to get married and you land on another location, but there's a location that you were thinking about doing, whether it be a destination or not a destination, or even local. Like if you're going to get married, for us, if you're going to get married by the beach, but you were thinking about doing a city wedding or vice versa, that's another reason to have an engagement session.
Totally.
So if you were thinking of getting married maybe in your hometown, but now you're getting married in his hometown, or vice versa, your fiance's hometown or your partner's hometown, maybe you do your engagement sessions where you were wanting to get married, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It gives you an alternative and gives you some different photos. So the more photos, the merrier.
So there you go. There's one tip and one place to do photos. A lot of times when I talk to our couples, they say to me, I hear the common theme of to get to know you, right? They want to do engagement photos to get to know us.
Yeah.
And or us to get to know them. That is one of the reasons, but I can tell you at least from us, we will getting to know somebody on a comfortability level, that's on you. Meaning, like, if you feel you want to get to know your photographer because it will benefit you, then that's a reason to do it. But as photographers and people who do this professionally and do it all the time, we don't need that. And I mean that and not in a rude way.
In the nicest way.
In the nicest way, meaning like we would love to get to know you and whatever.
Absolutely.
I mean it in a way that if you do not do an engagement session, you're not missing out. Because being a professional photographer, we can pretty much figure out your angles and how to photograph you and what light is the best light, or, figure out your personality in the way of like how to make you comfortable in front of the camera pretty quickly. So if you don't do an engagement session, it does not like you're missing out and then there'll be like this weird uncomfortableness on your wedding day. However, if you feel like you would benefit from it, this is a great time to be in front of the camera for the first time and it not being your wedding day.
Totally. So many couples say, like, oh, I'm not comfortable in front of a camera. Like, I need help. And just to reassure you, everyone feels that way. Even us as photographers, we get in front of the camera and it feels totally different. So you're not alone. People are not regularly models and comfortable with that. But if you are feeling that way, if you are feeling nervous, the engagement session is a great way to feel comfortable with your photographer, or just feel comfortable being in front of a camera to get that little bit of practice, reassurance, so that it feels a little bit more natural on your wedding day,
Yeah. And the other thing is too, it creates a trust. So, at least with us, we're all about building relationships with you all. So it's just another time to be able to hang out with you, right? A lot of times our couples leave and like, oh, that's it? That was fun. That was easy. And it gets them to look forward to their wedding day and seeing us, and also takes the edge off of them having to be in front of the camera.
Totally. And I mean, so stereotypically, you kind of see grooms, sorry to pick on you, but grooms being the ones who are like, I hate photos, don't take any more photos of me, but warming them up with an engagement session and letting them see how fun it is. I just did an engagement session at Castle Hill recently, and for a couple who was on vacation. They're getting married somewhere else, but we did their photos. And the groom said to me when we were done with the session, he said, "That is the most fun I have had in years." And I said, "Thank you so much." And the bride, she goes, "I have planned so many vacations for us in the last year." And the groom was like, "Yeah, but that was really fun with Kathryn."
Wow, Kathryn, you're a good time,
I was like, "Thank you." I had no idea that engagement sessions could be so fun, but just another way to even help your groom or your partner who is a little bit apprehensive about photos just feel more excited about taking the photos on the wedding day.
Another reason is you just really want to capture the season of life. So I always tell a lot of our couples, and your wedding day photos are probably going to be one of the most important photos for you guys as a couple forever, right? And sometimes it's the first time you're ever in photos together, as a couple. But they're your wedding photos. So meaning like, that's your wedding day, you're wearing your dress, or you're wearing your tux or your suit, or, where engagement photos are more of you guys as a couple, and it's kind of marking your season of life, like, you starting out, it's just the two of you. And so I know in my house, 10 years later, some of my favorite pictures are my engagement photos. Like I said, my wedding photos are my most important photos, right? But my favorite photos is my husband and I on our engagement pictures, because it's just us in regular day clothes, just being us and being carefree, and allowing our photos just kind of capture us. So anyway,
your personality to shine through. Right? Your engagement photos are very cute.
And you can put your photos around your house, and it's just you. It's you guys as a couple, right?
Yep.
Not your your wedding day. So there's the season of life. Another thing, you can repurpose your engagement photos. So like save the dates. Like I guess the point is, if it's not to do some of the other items that we were talking about, it's actually you're sent on a mission, and the mission is to complete your save the dates or your guest book,
or your wedding website.
Your wedding website.
Yes, a lot of people also just want photos of them and their partner around the wedding. So just decor in general. The engagement photos make a great addition to making the wedding decor more personal, and personalizing your save the dates with a photo of you guys that everybody can hang on their fridge, and
Yep. And so another reason to do this would be to schedule it around like when your hair and makeup trials are.
Yes, that is a great point. Yeah, doing it in tandem with your hair and makeup trial. That way you can not only, see how you feel in your hair and makeup and look at it in a mirror, but you can also see it in pictures. And
I also feel like if you are not local to where you're getting married, but you do want to use that photographer, this is a great way of, there's many reasons to be coming in town when you're wedding planning. So piggybacking off of like a food tasting day, or especially hair and makeup day,
totally
is a reason to schedule your engagement photos.
Yeah. A lot of people, wherever they're getting married, if it's not where they live, make kind of a wedding planning trip.
Yes.
and do all the things in that week, get the dress fitted. And we've had an episode about planning a wedding from a distance with Rebecca, and that is a great one to check out, an episode. But
one of our brides planning a wedding, so that actually, scroll through, I mean, that's about 2 years ago, but it's very relevant. Has a lot of information. Maybe in our show notes we'll tag that.
Totally. And I was just thinking about, another thing that she specifically said, since we're just on this topic, is doing dress alterations, buying your dress and getting it altered where you're getting married, if you can, if there's like family there, versus having to bring it with you when you're traveling to the wedding. So kind of doing all of those things and your engagement photos and all of that in a trip all together.
Look at that fun little tip that you just unveiled.
Yeah.
And there's more in that episode.
Yes. So check it out. It was a great episode.
So what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. This is a quick little mini series that we're giving you just about engagement photos, but we'll be right back with some more tips of why you should do engagement sessions and how to prepare for them too. I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to check out our website at sarazarrella.com. And don't forget, you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. And I would so appreciate if you left a fabulous review on Apple Podcast. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support. And now, let's get back to the episode. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled, podcast friends, like I always say. All right, so before the break, we were talking a little bit about engagement sessions. So we'll get right back into it, right? Yeah. Quick little episode just for you guys this week. So I know we talked a little bit about, building confidence or building a connection with your photographer. The other thing you can do with engagement photos is you can do things with engagement photos that the wedding day doesn't lend itself.
Totally.
So like, for example, like a lot of times we're not going to have you sit on the ground on your wedding day, right?
Yeah. Can't get the dress dirty.
No. So you can sit on the ground. There's different poses. You can be picked up and picked up. And then, of course, we pick up some of our couples pick each other up.
Yeah.
But
more piggyback than like the wedding dress is like a scoop.
Yeah, like more casual stuff, like, or like going in the water, right? Like
Yeah.
you can if you're doing your engagement session in a season where you can go in the water, or if you're local to coastal stuff, you can go in the water into a lake. You can bring themes in like picnics or
Yes.
rowboats or canoes
Yeah.
or
Or diners.
diners.
Yeah.
That's right. We had a couple of those. Or, if you're getting married in the winter, but you want summer photos, or vice versa. If you're getting married in the fall, but you want winter photos. I mean, just a different season.
Totally. Yeah, some people are like, oh, I'm getting married in the fall. I have to do my engagement photos with fall foliage. And that's fine. I understand, curating an aesthetic, especially like for your save the dates. But again, you're sending the save the dates out 10 months in
Yes.
advance. So even those you're sending out, not in fall. So it's up to you. It can be, something totally different, or it can be the same if you're planning,
Right.
a year out.
And you could think about your hobbies. You could think about your pets. You
Yes.
can think about, like, maybe there's a quirky side of you that you're not going to bring it into your wedding, like an element. I don't know. Maybe, like you said, like maybe you love tennis and there's no theme in your wedding for tennis, but you know what? Like you can bring that into your engagement photos, or golf, or I don't know, a hobby.
Totally.
So obviously think outside the box on locations for your engagement photos. And like Kathryn said, you don't have to keep on brand or on theme in your wedding. In fact, you can do the exact opposite. Something that Kathryn you did bring up about save the dates. A lot of people feel like they need to send their save the dates way farther than they need to. Like they actually think the sooner they can send it, the better. And there is a sweet spot. And you don't want to go too far out, because people are going to look at that and it's just going to be a fleeting moment. They're going to see the date and they're going to be like, oh, that's a year and a half out. I don't have to think about that. And it actually works against yourself for actually saving the date. And obviously you don't want to go too close to the wedding, because the whole point is you want people to save the date. Formal invitations are following with more details. The sweet spot's about 8 months out for save the date, especially if you're traveling. 6 months if it's more of a local. But I would say 6 to 8 months. So with engagement photos, think about that when you're planning that, like, because you have to get the pictures done in order to get all that going, and talk with your photographer about their turnaround time. Yeah. Another little note, though, is keep in mind, wedding photographers usually can't do engagement pictures on weekends, or like a Friday night, which is another popular wedding night, for obvious reasons. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Because we're at weddings, in case you didn't catch it.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so another little note is you could be yourself in your engagement photos.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great way to show your personality. Like, we kind of reference with your engagement photos, like you and Steve, being from Florida, are very beachy. So like you guys at the beach running around, laughing, having fun. I feel like your engagement photos really show your all's personalities.
Yes. And we did not get married on the beach. So that's why we did them on the beach, because like you said, like we're really beachy people. I love the beach. I love the water. We were actually in the water. Yeah. But then for our wedding, we got married on our property, which did not have water anywhere. But I will tell you another tip. Yeah. We did our rehearsal dinner, and so Steve, being from Florida, had a lot of out of town guests, and so we hosted people for the weekend, and it was the Labor Day weekend. So we felt like if people are going to be giving up their weekend for us, we needed to kind of sort of host them. And so we kind of planned that. So we did have our rehearsal dinner, and we opened that up to everybody, and we did have that by the water. Yeah. Just to bring that element again that was important to us. We brought that to us as a couple in our engagement photos, but you're right. Yeah.
And just another little plug, another thing to consider, in addition to your wedding day coverage, is engagement photos. The same as also rehearsal dinner coverage. Yes. Things like that, which we've talked about rehearsal dinners, and we could get into that later. But having a photographer at your rehearsal dinner is a great way to also capture the full weekend. Yes. And we've even done 3-day weekend events with a welcome party, a rehearsal dinner event, and then the wedding and the. And that is something too, where it's like,
It just allows you guys to be yourself kind of
Mm-hmm.
in your engagement photos. I find that sometimes people can just let loose and be themselves a little bit more, where on a wedding day, they're just so filled with emotion that they're still themselves, but it's a different emotion. But
Mm-hmm.
kind of being able to capture the weekend's events, rehearsal dinner, and the like either breakfast or a luncheon. Or sometimes people take sales around here because we're
Yeah.
on the Ocean State. It allows us to be your camera, basically. I mean, listen, we're in an age where like everybody takes pictures and everybody can send you your pictures. But if you just don't want to worry about tracking the pictures down or making sure people got it, or you
Yep.
taking pictures and just want to be yourself, that is a shameless plug of why you
Totally.
need us there for the whole.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and it builds confidence too, and it just allows us to just be part of the event seamlessly of the whole weekend.
Totally. Yep. And it allows the family members to not feel the pressure to take the photos.
Yeah.
We can remind mom to be in the moment, like, hey, we've got you, like, it allows your family to really fully be present and invest. And then the other alternative to engagement photos that we haven't touched on yet is proposal photos.
Yes.
Is just having a photographer capture your proposal. And I know that you guys are probably a little bit past that at this point. But just a plug to anyone proposing out there that having a professional photographer is the way to go for that. Would recommend.
Yeah, and most likely, like you said, like our listeners are past that point.
Mm-hmm.
So having that taken in consideration.
Totally.
For proposal photos. And for us, if we do proposal photos, we'll then go into an engagement session right after, before you go and celebrate. However, that's not to say that if you already did proposal photos, it replaces the engagement sessions. It doesn't.
Totally.
It's proposal photos. And I mean, even if we go into it's quote unquote a mini engagement session,
yeah,
it's still not your engagement sessions where you can like take multiple outfits or think about, like you said, like outside the box or be yourself and be creative. And like, I mean, there's nothing wrong again doing 2 sessions. Like I know Steve and I, we did 2. We did being a photographer, there were certain photographers I wanted to work with, and so they were my friends, and so I did multiples, and I just love them all. So there's that.
Yeah.
And still to this day, they're in my room, those pictures. But so before we wrap up, I wanted to get into a little bit about like what to wear.
Yep. And it depends on kind of what type of a location, what the vibe is for sure. But I would say we definitely have some overall tips for what to wear to your engagement session. So
yes. So for our listeners, we'll put in our show notes a link to the blog about what to wear for any type of photo session. So anybody who has a photo session coming up, whether it be a family session or an engagement session, or if you're a guest at a wedding, you're trying to figure out what to wear. And we have a lot of what to wear tips on our blog link. So we'll connect that. We gotta remember to put all those links in our show notes.
I know. Note to self.
And so what to wear? Okay. Number 1 question. First and foremost, you do not need an outfit change.
Yeah.
If you want, go at it and have it. You do not need multiple locations either. I mean, I always tell people like engagement sessions are really about you two as a couple. So a lot of times we're not focusing on the scenery. We're mostly focusing on you guys. So you don't have to like go crazy about like a spot if none of this resonates with you. Same thing with your outfits. Like you don't have to go crazy in your outfits. It's just about you guys being you. So like whatever you would normally wear is fine, because you don't have to worry about clashing with multiple people or objects or things.
Yeah.
I tend to like flowiness when I photograph.
I was going to say the same thing.
So flowy dresses, flowy, like, I love props. Like I love myself a scarf or if you're like a hot cocoa cup, if you're doing winter photos, or a sun hat, if you're doing beach photos that you can hold more so than actually wear. I do remember doing my sister-in-law's, photos, and she's like, what do I wear? And I'm like, a flowy dress. And she just looked at me and she's like, I don't wear flowy dresses. It's not my style.
No.
And so I say that because, she wore jeans and a cool shirt and looked great. And my brother wore a cowboy hat, and he dresses very much like Johnny Depp. So like flowy dresses are not their style.
Sorry, Sorry.
Right? Did I nail that?
That's so funny.
Right?
Yes.
But so I say that because if it's not your style, it's okay. Like those pictures came out great too.
Totally. Yes. It's all about what you feel comfortable and confident in. But other than that, I think we would typically say like, no, like, you know, logos, crazy prints, like maybe.
I don't mind prints on girls.
Yes. Like in a nice floral or something.
Dress. But like logos, no.
Yeah.
Sneakers, like white sneakers, no. Like do not look like you're traveling to Italy. Like a tourist. Don't
look like a tourist.
Don't
yeah,
look like
that's a great tip.
So I mean like white sneakers, logos. I am not a huge fan of the collared shirts.
Sure.
For men. I'm just not.
You mean button downs or polos?
Polos.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm not against it. I'm just it's just not, I'm not a huge fan.
You just don't love the way that it like.
No, I don't love I don't mind the way it looks, but I find men tug on their clothes a lot when they're wearing it.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know if they're like subconscious of like their stomach. I just notice it's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just after years of doing this.
So maybe lean towards button down versus a polo kind of situation.
For men. Or just a t-shirt, like a t-shirt, like more of just a cotton shirt than something that has a collar and just it's not as like loosely, like if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say is, you know, a lot of couples, brides, you know, get some kind of like, I've seen a lot of denim jackets with like Mrs. Smith on the back of it. You know, things like that are fun little, you know, tidbits to incorporate into your bridal era, you know, the sun hat that has bride or the name on it, you know, things like that are fun little props as well.
Yep. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else.
I was also going to say layers, you know, like if you are wearing like, for example, if you don't want to change outfits, but you want to do like denim on the bottom and a nice little tank top on the top, then you can bring a sweater and throw that on or something like that to get different looks, you know, with the same outfit. Kind of an aesthetic there.
And I just want to end with like, at the end of the day, I can at least say your engagement sessions are probably going to be one of the easiest things you do. So 99.9% of the time, couples tell us like, that's it, that was easy. The other 1%, they're thinking it and they probably just don't tell us.
Yeah, I would agree.
It really is. It's the easiest thing you're going to do in your entire wedding planning process, and it's fun. Other than saying yes, that was probably easy.
Yeah, that was probably pretty easy. Hopefully.
The
other thing I was going to say we haven't talked about is kind of like timing. We typically want to be, you know, towards the end of the day, like an hour before sunset, especially if you're at the beach. Sarah, you know, you can speak a little bit more to that maybe.
Yeah, I can. Variations. So people say the golden hour is not 2 hours before the sun sets. It's not even like an hour. It's like right before. So it's like, you know, if the sun sets at 8:15, that means the sun is setting at 8:15. So like the golden hour is like usually about a half an hour right before, like when the sun is just about to set, you have that golden tones in the sky. So you want to catch that. And then obviously when the sun is set, you still can take photos if you're on the beach and there's no tree lines. But if you're at a park, then you like once the sun is set, it's dark. So you really have to consider like where you're taking photos because you have more time if you're on a beach and there's no tree lines. But if you are somewhere where it's shade, then you don't have as much time. So you want to start a little earlier because typically engagement sessions would be about an hour, I would say, roughly on average, about an hour. Some are more, if that, you know, some are less. So that golden hour is like that half an hour right before that sun sets.
And if you are limited by schedules or something like that and have to do it during the day, we would definitely recommend like finding a place with a little bit more shade.
You know? Absolutely. You will not go to like a full beach where there's there's no shade. Not if you can't get the ideal time. I mean, obviously on wedding days, you have constraints with time, so you have to make do. But if you are in your engagement pictures and you can pick and maximize the best of your photos, time and location go hand in hand. So that's something where you really need to talk with your photographer about the location, about the time, and that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so for our wrap-up question, I will just kind of quickly go through that really quick, some pointers. just a quick recap. It's, engagement pictures allow you to be comfortable in front of the camera, be you, be able to do things that you wouldn't normally do on your wedding day, i.e. go into water or do a hobby or
a little more fun.
More fun, a themed location. You could pick a location that's on brand with your wedding or off brand.
Builds trust with your photographer.
And just you guys as a couple. That is the biggest takeaway. If you want pictures of you guys as a couple, do engagement pictures. If you are doing it for any other reason, you don't need to. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to do it, if you want, more photos of you guys, we are totally down to do it. So
love that.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for hopping on this week's episode of Wedding Secrets Unveiled last minute.
Yes.
Pulled you right all
I know.
From your desk, like literally typing an email like, Kathryn, come join. You helped our listeners become one step closer to a stress-free wedding planning process. And so for everybody, you can find us on YouTube,
yes, on the Sara Zarrella photography YouTube page. I think it's at Sara Zarrella, Sara no H, Zarrella 2 R's 2 L's, on YouTube, and it's the Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast playlist. And make sure to like, subscribe, download the episode if you're an audio listener, and follow along. We got plenty more tips for you. So.
And if we forget to put those 2 links, Rebecca's episode and the what to wear for the blog, please message us.
Yeah, call us out. Let us know.
We are always listening to you guys. All right, my friends, have a great day.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Wedding Secrets Unveiled. I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, I want to tell you something. I encourage you to check out our website at sarazarrella.com. We love photographing while having fun, of course. Check out our podcast page on our website for our show notes along with upcoming episodes with your local wedding experts. Listen in as we help you plan your epic event. And don't forget that you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. I would so appreciate if you left a review for us on Apple Podcasts. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support and let us know what you think. If you know any wedding experts that would like to be a guest, we have a link directly on our website where they can let us know. Thank you for listening.